It's day 6 of Evan of Cyber, and you already know it is a new day, which means it's a new challenge, a new objective, and a new learning. If you are new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, so every time I post a new video for this challenge, you will go ahead and see the video and be notified. And without further ado, let's get into today's video. Alright, so it is day 6, and today's challenge is if I can't find nice malware to use, then I'm going. So let's take a look at our story for the day and get into our objectives. Yara Malware slammed his hand on the table, his eyes narrowing as the report flashed on his screen. Glitch and McSkitty had uncovered his trail. He took a deep breath, calming himself. No matter, he muttered, a sinister grin forming. They may have found me, but I haven't stopped. His confidence stemmed from the malware he had crafted, so devious and advanced that it would easily evade detection. But before unleashing it to wreak havoc on SOC teams and ruin Hackmas, there was one final step he needed to add in a sandbox. So, let's go over today's objectives. Today we'll be analyzing malware behavior using sandbox tools. We'll explore how to use Yara rules to detect malicious patterns. We'll learn about various malware evasion techniques, and we will implement a evasion technique to bypass Yara rule detection. Before we do anything, let's go ahead and connect to our machine. Alright, so now that we have our attack box open, let's go ahead and go into detecting sandboxes. So what is a sandbox? It's basically an isolated environment that allows you to do testing or evaluate or see how specific malicious code or applications will work and what they do without affecting your actual device. So oftentimes this is installed to monitor, record, and analyze code's behavior. And malware knows that before his malware executes, it needs to check if it is running on a sandbox environment, and if it is, then it should not continue with its malicious activity. So to do this, it has to kind of follow a certain technique, and this goes by checking if the directory, in this case it will be program files, is present by querying the registry path. This is going to be the path in our registry, and then the val can be confirmed by using the registry path within the registry editor as seen here below. So if we open up our Windows registry, navigate to the start menu on the bottom screen and select run and enter regedit and press enter. This directory is often absent on sandboxes and other visualized environments, which could indicate that malware is running in a sandbox. So here's an example of what that will look like. This will be in a C programming language. This is not really anything we need to understand. We just need to understand how it is designed to check the system's registry for a specified directory path. So basically with this code, we are doing a registry check, just making sure that this is our registry and this will be the specified directory path we want to check for. So even though Malware knows that McSkitty is a big fan of the Yara rules, we're going to see if Yara can detect this actual malware. So what is Yara? Yara is a tool used to identify and classify malware based on patterns in its code. So by writing custom rules, analysts can define specific characteristics to look for, such as particular strings, files, or behaviors. So let's take a look at this example right here. So this basically gives us a little bit of information about the actual rule. It tells us the description, that this detects the sandbox by querying the registry key for a program path. We have the author here, we have the date it was created, and then we have version, which is 1.1. So as you can see here with the strings, this actually tells us what the variables are that we're including in this actual string to say, hey, this is what we're going to look out for. So these will be our values in our string. So we want to look for software, Microsoft, Windows, current version, and then vprograms file directory. So for testing, Yara Malware has set up one function script that runs the Yara rule and logs a true positive in tools and Yara matches.txt that is going to be stored in the tools folder. So we're going to open up PowerShell window and navigate to the tools directory, and then we'll use the following command to start up the EDR. Alright, so now let's go ahead and navigate to our tag box, and we're going to open up PowerShell and navigate to our directory. So we are going to do CD to change directories, and we want to go to C, and we will type in tools. So now as you can see, we are now in the tools directory, and we want to look for this particular PowerShell script. So now since we see we are there, we now want to run the jinglebells.ps1 script. Alright, so we're going to do that and jinglebells, oops, Mr. J, .ps1. We'll hit enter. I added an S. Let's do that one more time. Alright, so as we can see, the PowerShell script has run. Currently, there are no events found in the Sysmon logs and monitoring Sysmon events. So basically, until we press Control plus C, this will be a continuous monitoring until we exit it out. So let's go ahead and see what we have to do next. So now, since we have started the actual tool monitoring, it will alert any activity or event that indicates that the registry mentioned above is being queried. So now we're going to run the malware by navigating to the directory tools malware and double clicking on merrychristmas.exe. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up our file explorer. And if anyone is kind of not understanding the difference between working in the shell and just clicking, it basically just is preference, honestly. Sometimes depending on what you're trying to do, you may want to use shell to navigate, and if you just prefer a visualization of it, you come into file explorer to do it. So we go back into our C drive, we're going to go into tools, and then we're going to go into malware and open up Merry Christmas. Alright, and now we can see we're getting some activity here. We can see that the sandbox detected this, and it looks like we have a pop-up. So malicious command detected, THM glitch was here. Okay, it looks like we have a flag. Let's see. So if our custom script did its job, you should have witnessed a pop-up by our EDR with a flag included. As shown below, this will be the answer to question 1 below, and you can now exit the custom script by pressing Control plus C. Alright, let's go ahead and copy this. If it'll let me copy it. If not, I may have to type it. Alright, THM, curly bracket, glitch. Can't type, I guess. Glitch was here. And enter. Alright, so now since we're done with the whole detection, we can actually click Control C as we see here to exit out. So we'll do Control C. Oh, okay, there we go. And I'm just going to clear this to clear the screen. And let's see what we're going to do next. So now since we have done the Yara detection and we have verified that Yara has done its job and detected the actual malware, now we're going to add some more evasion techniques just in case malware wants to get a little bit sophisticated and do some obfuscation within its actual malware code. So let's see. So as we did discover, Yara can detect the evasion that malware has added, but no worries because we can make our malware even stealthier by introducing obfuscation. So obfuscation is basically just a way of hiding something within something. So looks like we have an encoded command here. So it'll probably be the same exact registry key, but we encoded it some way somehow to make it not look like that, as far as not make it look exactly like that, just for those rules that may look for specific things. So we have code explanation. The above code does the same thing, but it does the same thing. It queries the same registry key to get the information about the program data, but the only difference is it is now encoded using base 64, and the code uses PowerShell to execute the query. The encoded string can be checked by decoding it using a tool called CyberChef. So basically, what we did was we took the same registry key, put it into CyberChef, and then we said, hey, we want to encode this to base 64, and this is how we kind of got it. So if you were to do a reverse on it, and that would be called decoding, let's just see what we would get. Enter this into our input. We know that it was encoded with base 64, so we're going to do from base 64, and then we can see that it has now been brought to some plain text that's easily readable. And because it is PowerShell, we want to do decode text. And we want to do UTF-16LE, which just kind of puts it all together. And as you can see, we have our output, which is going to be our registry. So let's say we wanted to kind of do the reverse of it to get the input. We'll just copy this, paste it here, and then instead of doing from base 64, we're going to do to base 64. And it gives us the same exact encoding that we see here. So that's just a quick example to show you how to do encoding and decoding within CyberChef. It kind of just does it for you. So now that we have done some encoding to kind of obfuscate the registry key to kind of avoid the rule, now we want to have something that can help us with obfuscation. This would be a tool called Floss. So this is one of a tool that was developed by Mandiant that functions similarly to Linux strings tool, but is optimized for malware analysis, making it ideal for revealing any concealed details. So let's go ahead and try it out. So we'll open a PowerShell window and enter the following command. All right, let's just go ahead and do it manually. Let's see what we're working with. So we want to go back to tools, and it should be floss, so we'll change it to floss. And now let's see if we can copy it. So we want to basically say floss.exe. Let's go ahead and scan this particular directory, which will be tools malware, and then we're going to specifically search for this exe file, which is an executable or an application. And then we're going to tell it, we're going to output this file. So the results of this actual scan from Floss, let's go ahead and output this into a file with the results, and then it'll save into its own text file that we're going to call mailstrings.txt, and there we will be able to see the results of that scan. So let's go ahead and copy this, paste, and let's see what we get. Alright, so it's working. Alright, and the scan is done. So let's see, we should be able to go into that particular tools folder, and now we see that text that we created with that output we wanted, and we have our results now in mailstrings.txt. So these are going to be the results from the scan we ran of floss. So now let's see what we have to do now. So once the command is done, open up the mailstrings.txt and press Control Find and search for the string malware. And we are going to do Control F and search for our flag. Let's hit next, and we have our flag. Let's go ahead and copy that. All right, so I know we had a little bit more, so let's see what else we have. So now, since we have created our Yara rule for detection, we're going to use floss as a tool to be able to extract obfuscated strings within these actual malware. Now we're going to use Yara rules on Sysmon logs. If malware wants to be undetectable, he needs to research on how Yara rules work that can be used to stop him. So now we're going to use Sysmon, which is a tool from Microsoft that does continuous monitoring and log system activities across reboots. So a Yara rule will look for events with event ID for this to work. So there are many entries in Sysmon logs. To make it easier to find, we are going to apply a custom filter using the event record ID. We can look into that text file Yara matches of positive matches that have been detected located in our tools directory. So let's go ahead into that text file and see what we can find. And we want to open up the Yara matches.txt. So we can see that we have our record ID right here, and we want to open up our Windows event viewer. So that is going to be this icon down here. And we want to navigate to Applications and Services, Microsoft, Windows, Sysmon, and Operational. So let's go ahead and click that. So we're going to go to Applications and Services, to Microsoft, Windows, and then we want to scroll down until we see Sysmon. And then we're looking for operational. All right, now we want to continue by navigating to the filter current log on the right hand side of the screen, and we should see a pop-up window. All right, and now we want to select our XML. So we have already navigated to the XML section. We will now need to check the edit query manually box and check yes, and then we will copy the following filter into the input. So let's go ahead and copy this, and we'll do edit query manually, click yes, and then we'll just put our own query in here. All right, and we are probably going to want to put that event ID we had from that results. So let's go ahead and open that. Go ahead and copy our record ID. And we want to insert event record ID here. We'll click OK. And we have our result. So we want to be able to just view a little bit about that search. So we'll go to details, and then we have some information on basically what we queried. So never gonna give up, the mayor malware leaned back, tapping his fingers thoughtfully on the table. All of his research had revealed an upsetting truth. His malware, as cunning as it was, wasn't yet ready for the wow. There were too many tools and too many vigilant eyes that would detect what he was trying to do and would expose his creation before he even had a chance to spread it. So he clenched his fist, a determined glint in his eye, just a little more fine-tuning, he muttered. He would study, adapt, and evolve his malware until it was truly undetectable. When the time was right, he would unleash it upon unsuspecting SOC teams, striking when they were least expected. But for now, he would wait, watching, planning, and he was perfecting his craft in the shadows. So, with that being said, we have stopped malware for now, but we know he is coming back. So we'll just stay on the lookout for him on the future days. And that is pretty much our challenge for today. If you want to know more about sandboxes, TryHackMe also has a room called Flare VM of Arsenal tools that you can check out. And that was all for today. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click the subscribe button, click the like button, and see y'all tomorrow for day 7.
Keyboard mechanical, 100 a minute, I type and that's factual. So I'ma get back at you. Yeah, all of y'all talking about Christmas is magical, but I hope you're encrypted. But I don't even care if it's 256-bit, cause I'ma get past it. Y'all don't know yet I'm bad shit. Better watch out, you better go high. I'm coming to town, you see what I type. No running away, cause I am the character you can't escape. Nobody gon' catch me. None of y'all ever gonna get past me, and no one gonna know what the patch be. Such a bad breach, I'm too nasty. Now I'm coming right for the magic. I hope it was fun while it lasted. Now Christmas is mine, and the fact is you can't patch this. I'm a savage, and now they all call me a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Yeah, the heck I is.